Hello, what's up, buddy? Today is February 25th, and it is Tuesday, and it's 1:47 p.m. Anyway, today I want to talk about forcing versus allowing. And this is something that I'm still working on. I'm still struggling with this right now. And basically, there's a couple ways of looking at it, right? Sometimes we put things off because it's hard. We don't want to do it, and we really need to do it. And we just need to get this stuff done, right? So it's like, you know what? I've been putting this off. I need to do it. I want to do it. And you kind of force yourself to do things, right? And then there's also another side where it's about like allowing things to flow and happen, right? That you're like, okay, well, I'm not in the mood to do it now. Or if I have to do something, give you an example. I have a friend who does like copywriting, writes things. And if she's not in the mood, she just doesn't do it. She doesn't force it. She goes, I could force it. I could spend an hour, 2-3 hours forcing it. Or I'll just kind of go for a walk, go for a hike, go something, and then I get inspired and I write it in 20 minutes, and it's way better than it would have forcing it. And I get that. But sometimes it's like you just got to get it done. And I still struggle. I got like one foot in one and I got one foot in the other. And I struggle with this constantly. Like, I give you an example. I'm working on a podcast. I want to create a podcast with me telling stories, and I can't find the right name for it right now. And it's been weeks, right? I just need to, like, part of me says, just pick something and go. Pick it, and then you can always change it, right? So there's a good saying, done is better than perfect. And I love that saying. It's a great saying. And I need to do it. So, like, I have to just pick something. I've been putting it off, waiting to get inspired, waiting for this to come to me, and it hasn't happened. So it's kind of this kind of juggling, right? I want to tell you something else too today. A little side note. This is really an interesting perspective. I heard it on a podcast called the Armchair Podcast, and the guest was Ashton Kutcher. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is he mentioned something about goals or resolutions for the year. And since we're in 2020 right now, he said he didn't do like a New Year's resolution, which I don't really believe in because most people never ever do them. But anyway, he said he had like a decade worth of goals. And it was really cool because when you think about what you want to do in a year, but if you have the big vision of like, what do you want to do in a decade, which is pretty heavy, right? And, but you can really think some big thoughts and big goals and go towards something with maybe a bigger or deeper purpose than what you think you can accomplish in a year, right? Most people's goals are reflected upon what they believe they can achieve, not what they really want, right? Or they go crazy the other way, right? I want $500 million. Well, how much did you make last year? Oh, I made 5,000. Well, that's a freaking crazy goal that's never going to happen. You don't really believe it's going to happen, so you don't even attempt it. Or you do it the other way. I made 5,000 last year. I want to see if I can make 6,000. It's just too small. I think I can do it, so I'll put that little thing out there. So when you think of a 10-year goal, you can think of a stretch how big it is, right? Which is cool. And he actually said that he read somewhere, and some companies in China will create for the business 100-year goals. And that's like, wow. I mean, most businesses don't even survive 3 or 4 years, but to have that vision of 100 years, it just kind of makes you stretch your thinking, right? So I heard that on my walk today, and then also I listened to a podcast of Garrett when I was on my walk. I went for a long walk today, and he was talking about, he made a big lesson about you're a better leader than you know, and we all are, and sometimes we forget that. Anyway, I'm not going to get into details on that because it was a cool podcast episode about him coming home from work, and his wife and his kids were kind of fighting a little bit. They were all stressed out, and how he kind of just ended up being a really good leader and taking control of the situation by like letting the mom sleep who was pregnant, and letting the kids have a little time with him too. So anyways, I'm kind of rambling right now, but the point of the matter is you don't have to be a leader, but most people are a much better leader than they know. And it comes down to what you believe, right? That's why I always flip out if you say, I can't do it. Like, there's nothing that I hate more than those type of words, because you can do it. You just don't want to. And there's a big distinction. There's a big difference, right? And you got to be careful what you tell yourself, right? Because you'll start to believe it. You believe you can't do it. And the truth is, it's not that you can't do it. You just don't want to do it. It's that simple. So change the things like I can't do it to I don't want to do it, if that's the case, or I haven't figured out how to do that yet. You know, that's more empowering than I don't know how, because that just ends. Oh, I can't. And not very useful. It's not useful. You can't grow from it. You just basically become like a victim, and that's gross. So don't be a victim. Just choose your words wisely, because they're powerful, as you are. All right, Bubba. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.